In the year 1387, a city in Persia surrendered to Timur's army. The gates were opened, the fighting stopped. The people believed they would be spared. But surrender did not save them. Thousands of prisoners were dragged into the streets and turned into a warning. Men were stacked on top of one another, while builders sealed them inside towers made of brick and mortar. Alive, when the work was finished, the towers stood over the city as monuments to terror. This was not an act of madness. It was a strategy. Timur believed fear was more powerful than any army. He wanted every city in Asia to hear these stories and surrender before soldiers even arrived. And it worked. Within a few decades, this crippled warlord from Central Asia would conquer land stretching from India to the Middle East, crush rival empires, capture an Ottoman sultan, and leave behind a trail of destruction so vast that historians still debate how many millions died because of his campaigns. Yet despite everything he achieved, most people today have never heard of him. Welcome back to the History Experiment. In today's episode, we're exploring the rise, conquest, and terrifying legacy of Timur, the man many historians consider one of the most brutal conquerors who ever lived. Timur was born in 1336 near the city of Kesh, in present-day Uzbekistan. He was not born into royalty. He was not destined for a throne. His family belonged to the Barlas tribe, a turco-mongol clan that had once served the descendants of Genghis Khan. The world Timur grew up in was unstable. The great Mongol Empire had fractured into competing kingdoms and rival warlords. Alliances changed constantly. Violence was everywhere. In such a world, power belonged to those strong enough to take it. As a young man, Timur survived by raiding, fighting, and serving as a mercenary. During one of these early conflicts, he suffered injuries that would define the rest of his life. An arrow badly damaged his leg, and another wounded his hand. The injuries left him permanently crippled. His enemies mocked him as Timur the Lame, but what they saw as weakness became part of his legend. Year after year, battle after battle, the crippled warrior kept winning. Every victory made him more dangerous. Every defeat of his enemies made him more feared. And soon, fear would become his greatest weapon. By his 30s, Timur had become a rising military leader. To increase his influence, he formed an alliance with another powerful warlord named Emir Hussein. Together they fought enemies and expanded their control over Central Asia. For a time, the partnership worked. But Timur did not dream of sharing power. He wanted all of it. As his influence grew, tensions between the two allies increased. Eventually, the alliance collapsed into open conflict. In 1370, Timur defeated Hussein. His former friend was captured. Soon afterward, he was executed. With Hussein gone, Timur became the dominant ruler of Transoxiana. There was only one problem. He lacked the bloodline required to claim the title of Khan. Most men would have accepted this limitation. Timur found a way around it. He married into the family of Genghis Khan's descendants and installed a puppet ruler while exercising absolute power himself. Officially, someone else sat on the throne. In reality, Timur controlled everything. The conqueror's rise had begun. From his capital at Samarkand, Timur created one of the most efficient war machines of the medieval world. His armies moved with incredible speed. His cavalry could travel enormous distances. His commanders were experienced, disciplined, and ruthless. But military skill alone does not explain Timur's success. Fear does. Whenever Timur approached a city, its leaders face a choice: surrender and survive, or resist and risk destruction. If a city opened its gates, Timur often accepted tribute and moved on. If a city resisted, the consequences could be catastrophic. Entire populations were slaughtered. Thousands of prisoners were executed. In some places, towers were built from human skulls. The purpose was simple. Timur wanted the next city to surrender before the battle even started. And across Persia, Mesopotamia, and Central Asia, the strategy worked. Stories of his brutality spread faster than his armies. Long before Timur arrived, people already feared him. By 1398, Timur turned his attention toward India. The Delhi Sultanate was one of the wealthiest powers in the world. Its cities were rich. Its markets were full of valuable goods. Its treasury contained immense wealth. For Timur, the temptation was impossible to ignore. His army crossed into India and marched toward Delhi. Along the way, thousands upon thousands of prisoners fell into his hands. Then came one of the darkest moments of his entire career. Concerned that the prisoners might rebel during the coming battle, Timur ordered their execution. Historical accounts suggest that more than 100,000 captives may have been killed. The scale of the slaughter shocked even some of his own followers. Soon afterward, Delhi fell. What followed was devastation. The city was looted. Its people suffered enormously. Its wealth was carried away to Samarkand. Timur did not stay to rule India. He came for treasure, glory, and fear. Then he left. By the early 1400s, another powerful conqueror was rising. His name was Bayezid I. He was the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. Across Europe and the Middle East, Bayezid was feared. Many believed he would continue expanding until no rival remained. Then he crossed paths with Timur. In 1402, the two armies met at the Battle of Ankara. It was one of the most important battles of the medieval era. Timur's forces outmaneuvered the Ottomans. Bayezid's army collapsed. The Sultan himself was captured. The news stunned the world. The mighty Ottoman ruler who had threatened Europe was now a prisoner. His empire descended into years of civil war. For a brief moment, Timur had changed the course of history, without conquering Europe, without even entering it. Most conquerors would have retired after such victories. Timur was not most conquerors. By 1404, he was nearly 70 years old. His body carried the scars of countless campaigns. Yet his ambition remained unchanged. His next target was Ming China. It would be the greatest invasion of his life. A massive army assembled. Preparations were completed. The march began. But Timur would never see the battlefield. In February 1405, while traveling east, he became seriously ill. The conqueror, who had survived decades of warfare, could not defeat time itself. Timur died before reaching China. The invasion ended immediately. His generals turned around and returned home. The final campaign never happened, and one of history's most feared conquerors was gone. Timur's empire did not survive him for long. Like many empires built around a single extraordinary leader, it fractured after his death, but his legacy endured. Some remember him as a brilliant military genius. Others remember him as a destroyer responsible for unimaginable suffering. His descendants would eventually establish the Mughal Empire in India, creating one of history's most remarkable civilizations. Yet, Timur himself remains a darker figure. A man who believed fear was stronger than loyalty. A ruler who built monuments from human skulls. A conqueror who left entire cities in ruins. Genghis Khan changed the world through conquest. Timur changed it through conquest and terror. And centuries later, his name still stands among the most feared in human history. You've been watching The History Experiment. If you enjoy documentaries about history's greatest rulers, forgotten empires, and legendary conquerors, be sure to subscribe and join us for the next journey into the past.